What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Golden Dice Podcast. We're on episode number 15. I'm your host, Jack, and I am joined by Brian, Flock, and Scott all tonight. Brian, kick us off. How are you doing? What have you been up to? How's life?
Thriving and surviving. Hold the thriving.
That's best. That's a little contradictory, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm alright. Same old stuff. Nothing new. I just making it through the world. Just a man trying to make it through the galaxy. Whatever the line is.
Brian's just holding on for dear life until March.
Pretty much.
Aren't we all?
Nothing else to live for.
I live for hyperspace foils. That's all I live for anymore. Flock, what about you?
Just
Tyler.
literally dreaming. Who? I've just literally been dreaming about SWU. I had a dream last night about SWU.
Could you read the cards in your dream, or is that still not an option?
I don't think I played like other cards. Like I don't think it was actually like cards that are in. So I don't know. But actually, they might actually be cards that are in the game. I don't know what any of them do. Yeah. So I was like, I don't recognize that one. So
When the website dropped and they had like the card database, people were like, "Oh, scroll through, see if we can find new cards." And in my mind, I was like, if Flock was doing that, I wonder how many he would be like, "Oh, look at this new card. Oh, look at this new card." When in reality, there was only one new card in there.
Princess Leia. That's new.
Oh,
Yep. I just saw Boba Fett was staring at Boba Fett.
You still can't play him right, so I don't know if I believe that.
He's too confusing.
Scott, what about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, just, 3D printing a bunch of Warhammer stuff.
Are you guys still doing your league?
The league's on pause right now. The holidays kind of took the wind out of that sails. But I got a big project that I printed up for Shane to get him back in, so he'll finally give Tommy a game.
When can you 3D print SWU cards? That's the real question.
I mean, I can probably 3D print like SWU tokens, but I don't know about cards.
Yeah, that's all right.
The Golden Dice SWU token. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to think. Dude, there's a Golden Dice resource tokens we had from Destiny, which are still some of my favorite. I like those a lot.
Unfortunately, I don't have laser cutter, so
yeah.
SOL. No. Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. But yeah, I mean, I'm a similar boat. Just been thinking about SWU all day, playing SWU, once or twice a week. It's funny. I texted, I think, Brian and Flock a week ago, saying like, I'm done. Like, Force Stable's kind of getting boring. Like, I'm just like curb stomping them every time, but I still can't stop playing Force Stable because I just want to play the game. Even if I'm winning every time against the AI, I've been wanting to just play and play. And Scott, you're registered for 2. The rest of us are registered for 3, right? Pre-releases?
Yep. I'm just, again.
Because you have Shatterpoint Saturday, right?
No, it's a doubles Warhammer event with Tommy.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
It's at the same place that we're doing the pre-release on Friday, so I'm going to be there 2 days in a row.
You going to sleep over? Camp on the parking lot?
Unfortunately, it is the one that is an hour away, so yeah, that probably should have been the one. Yeah, it's annoying. That's the annoying side of it. But, if Tommy bails or something falls through, then, backup is SWU event.
Yeah, and Red Caps is still open. I know Wargamers is sold out on Friday.
Yeah, they're much smaller than Red Caps.
Yeah, but even they had 16 and they sold out 16, whereas Red Cap said they're at 9 on Saturday and 6 on Sunday right now, I think is what the registration is.
Yeah, I mean, so I was up at Wargamers Guild last Saturday for a Star Wars Shatterpoint event, and a lot of the Star Wars Shatterpoint players were like super psyched about Star Wars Unlimited. The owners were super excited about it, and like they're a store that doesn't do card games at the moment, so this is going to be like their first foray into card games. And I think they thought it was like a good time because, one, it's got like that ancillary appeal because they got a good Shatterpoint crowd, so Star Wars, but then also like getting in on the ground floor with the game as opposed to like trying to create a Magic the Gathering group when there's just like 15 other stores in XYZ distance that do Magic the Gathering.
So if we don't win, it's going to be embarrassing. We're going to get beat by a bunch of miniature players.
Yeah, you're going to get beat by a bunch of miniature players that like have never played a card game.
Perfect.
Yep.
So if nobody sees Golden Dice post anything Friday night,
something went wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're locked in for 3, and that I think is what is really starting to make it feel real. I don't know about you guys, but actually like putting money towards the game, right? We put our pre-order in, at least from Red Caps, and we didn't have to put like a payment in yet for like our case and our 2-player. But actually paying money to say I will be there on March 1st, 2nd, or 3rd kind of made the game feel a lot more real than it has pretty much this entire cycle. I mean, there's a minus 30 in my bank account. It feels real.
Yeah, there's a minus 30. There's there's
times 3.
Yep.
So mine is 90 really.
Actually, also on top of that, you also covered 2 of mine because I was sleeping.
Yes, registration went live at 9:30 and Tyler was asleep.
Yep. Well, there was an issue last night with the thing, and I'm like, well, I'm going to bed. I'm too tired. Buy it if it opens up or they fix it.
Yeah, you thought it was sold out like instantly there.
Yeah, I was like, no shot. I was like, no way. This like it said sold out on the website. I was like, there's definitely an error. They definitely like didn't allocate spaces or whatever.
Everyone was waiting like me. I'm like, oh, someone will post in Discord say it's not working. Brian didn't, I didn't, like no one else did, and then Jack does.
Yeah,
Jack
you guys knew before me, and you guys just sit there with just like twiddling your thumbs. Jack,
it's a lot of work.
Jack, help us.
Yeah, Jack, come on, Jack.
But yeah, there's a bunch of like flesh and blood players from Red Caps that are interested in the game. At least 4 that are already like registered for pre-releases or like have expressed interest in playing on like Felt Table or like went say to Top Deck on Saturday to do those demos.
Yeah, we had our first road show in the area, and I wasn't able to make it. I forget what I had Saturday. Don't remember, but apparently it was like
a baby. You have a baby.
I do.
Didn't you do like the medieval
times?
Medieval times. That's what we did. Yeah. So
you went to medieval times.
That was my mother-in-law's gift to like everybody. Was a trip. She got us like VIP passes and stuff. It was pretty nice.
Did your knight win?
No, our guy became the bad guy, so he was like in the finals. But at least it kept entertaining. My guy was in it the whole time until the end.
Fair.
What was my Saturday? Top Deck had the road show, and it sold out. Well, like it was packed or whatever. Like they were maxed out on the demos. They gave away. I think not everybody walked away with a Vader or Luke, and I think they even like split it. Like some people, like you only got to pick either Vader or Luke, and not everybody got one of those as well. So it seemed pretty packed. Though I am slightly annoyed, and this always is my issue with Top Deck, is just like. I've been asking them for months what their plan is for Star Wars Unlimited. And I have the receipts. You can go to the Discord and look how many times I've asked. And apparently somebody went and the guy like running it on the Top Deck end was like, yeah, nobody's asked anything about SWU yet. So like maybe we do have to do a pre-release from this turnout. But like I wasn't expecting this. I was like, where have you been, dude? I've been asking multiple times. Like that drove me crazy. And I was just like, I will still go there and do events like depending on, like, I could see Top Deck being like $45 for pre-release. And I'll be like, no, thank you. But
the amount that you bashed them, they probably like blocked you. So whatever you're posting, they don't see.
Yeah,
I'm willing to bet not a single person from Top Deck listens to this.
No, they just don't like you. They're like, this guy just keeps messaging us, so we don't like it.
Yup.
Yeah, but we already got a good deal with Red Caps talking to them. They said we can record some games and while we're there and stuff. So I'm excited with that relationship. And it's about the same drive if there's no traffic, which is pretty good.
Yeah, for you guys, it's much easier for me to get to Red Caps.
Yeah.
I'm already across that bridge.
Yeah, you're already over there.
Actually, I'd say it's probably the same drive for me, too, depending on traffic. Traffic in University City can be a little bit heavier than going the other way, depending on the time of day.
The first time Brian and I did it was the Eagles home opener, and we sat in traffic for like an hour and a half.
That was a bad idea.
Yeah, we didn't even think about it. But it was it was just a weekly event. We definitely should have just not gone.
What did you go? You went up for
One Piece.
Yeah, it was for a weekly One Piece. Like, it wasn't like it was like a pre-release even. Like, we should have just not gone. And we sat in traffic for like an hour and a half, pulled up like right as it was starting.
We left early and everything.
Yeah.
Man.
But every time after that, it's like 30 minutes. It's not bad. Well, yeah. So, yeah, exciting. I'm ready to get cards in my hand. I'm ready to, as you can see, I moved into a new room, and now our play area is behind us. You see all those print and play decks, all the different sleeves. I'm ready to be done with arts and crafts. I already got at least 2 more queued up. I got Luke Green ready to be updated, and I've got Krennic Aggression ready to be updated. And Brian, I had to change out every card, dude. That was rough, dude.
I don't even remember it.
So what, from all blue Krennic to now Krennic red?
No, he still has an all blue Krennic deck sitting behind me somewhere.
Okay.
But I specifically updated the red.
Take that apart too.
It was
Sponsor that for free.
probably good to yeah.
It's been called a draft deck, and my feelings are hurt, so demolish it.
I think the second I compared it to like Flock's upset, like Blue Krennic is what IG88 is to Flock. Like
I'll beat Blue Krennic with IG88.
You'll beat?
No problem. I'll beat him. I'll beat it. My IG88 deck is much better now.
Sure.
Congrats.
Let's
Those
go.
are fighting words.
We're all very
Let's
proud
go.
of you. You did beat Brian. I'm so sad that we lost.
I know. Spanked
that
them
game.
with IG88. Even with open firing IG right away. I don't need IG.
Opening, firing.
Opening firing.
Those are words in an order.
All right, well, we've just talked randomly for 10 minutes, so we can start to dive in. For any listeners also, I want to note, I actually did want to say this earlier, but we're going to break up our podcast a little bit. We started getting the habit of going to 2 hours, which I didn't necessarily love, but we kept doing it anyways, just trying to see. So we're going to break up and not do spoilers on this. We're going to do spoilers in like a separate video, so hopefully this is about an hour, and then the spoiler video, 45-ish minutes. So want your feedback on that. Do you like it split up? Would you rather just have it all in one 2-hour podcast? Simply just let us know. Be interested to hear.
Watch, we still got 2 hours to this one
response.
anyway.
Hey,
Just random thought.
there's a chance. There's a chance. But
I'm
we're-
on it, so that's the problem.
we're going to, Flock gets going though, bro. I don't know if you had any drinks tonight. That man has like one Michelob Ultra, and the dude will just go on for hours about IG88 and Iden.
It's true.
No
It's true.
denial.
Nope. No, not. Can't deny it. There's proof.
Do you know if you entrench Iden, she's a 7/7
But
shield.
they can't attack the base. You know.
Yeah, they have no ground units.
Yep. I'll be sad and crawl my corner.
All right, so we're going to play a game to kick this off. Brian and Flock are going to be the participants. Scott is going to help me judge. This is a game that I've seen a lot on TikTok of podcasters and content creators, whatever doing. We're going to go ahead and blind rank 5 cards. Each of you are going to get 5 cards, one at a time. You have to rank them 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 without knowing what the next card is going to be.
Oh, I like that game.
So I picked out 5 cards for each of you, and we can play this.
Can I look up the card?
sometimes. No, that's
Or,
part of it.
I can't look up the card.
No,
Oh my gosh,
Absolutely
dude.
not.
Well, actually, you know what the cards are. That's the best part.
Absolutely. We did start a little easy. Flock should know all of these cards.
Should is the opposite.
Actually, I should. Vader. Okay. Yep.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll get it over with.
Brave
I'm
man.
gonna get it over with. Yeah.
All right, Flock. So remember, you don't know what's coming next, but you have to rank this card 1 through 5. The first card
Alright.
is Echo Base Defender.
Echo based what?
Defender.
Echo based defender. Isn't Echo based defender? Oh, does it get a shield or is it Sentinel? I forget. I think it's Sentinel.
Yeah.
So Echo based defender's a 3-drop with Sentinel.
Yep.
Stats. Yeah, it's the stats. Isn't it like 3/4?
No.
Okay, well I don't know.
Flip
No,
it.
it's a 3-drop Sentinel. 4/3.
Yes.
Okay,
4,
so
3,
4/3
3 green hero.
I am dyslexic, so I get a pass.
He's looking it up right now.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
It's a Sentinel. I don't really like it. I'd say so. Is 1 good or
1 is top. 1 is the
one's
best card.
top?
5 is the
I
worst.
say I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay. All right. Now,
Give it a 4.
here's the big moment. The big moment that I had to include this card. So next card, Flock. You put Echo Base in 4. Volunteer Soldier. Where's this going?
Oh, that's a draft card. That's 5.
There you go. That's the aspectless.
Yes, aspectless.
Was it? It's a 3-cost 2/3, right? It
Yeah.
costs 1 less with a trooper and has raid 1 or something like that. So it's a 2-drop that you can't play turn 1. Okay. So we got 4 and 5 locked in. So now you can only use 1, 2, or 3.
All right.
Next one is Syndicate Lackeys.
Oh, that's an ambush one. That's another draft one. So I'm gonna say 3. Probably should be 4, but I'll do 3 now.
Do you know how much it costs?
Isn't it it's a 4 or 5? I think it's a 5/5/5, right?
5 cost, 5 attack, 4 health.
4.
Close.
Okay.
Just yellow. So
Yeah.
Good draft.
Yep.
All right. So we've got 3, 4, 5. Next one is Command.
Command?
Mm-hmm.
it's not the worst one out of all the double aspects. I'll go 2 because there's definitely gonna be something much better than command. There's no way you can make command 1.
All right, and that leaves force choke at number 1.
Oh, I freaking love force choke. That's 1, baby. Let's go. Oh man,
I can't believe you let off with Echo Base Defender at 4. Oh my god.
did that work? Is that good?
So your best card is Force Choke, and then Command, and then Syndicate Lackeys, and then Echo Base Defender, and then Volunteer Soldier.
Yeah.
Volunteer Soldier was a gimme. That was I was really testing you to see if you didn't put it at 5. I was very curious to see if you would have done like 4. But
I knew you were gonna do something dumb for 5.
Once you did Echo Base, I was like, okay, he's definitely gonna put Volunteer. I don't know. For me, I think Echo Base is a really good card. I would have put that at least at 3.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to argue that that's worse than the Syndicate Lackey, and then it's also like you're talking command. It's like how many decks can command really end up in? And it's no.
Yeah, it's actually been tough. Like I really like playing command, but I also feel like that's because I don't play Vigilance or Aggression as much because they haven't had as much cards. And Vigilance I've liked more, and Aggression on paper seems pretty good. So Command might actually end up being my least favorite, but I do like just the 2 XP and the ramp for 4. Like that is nice, but yeah. It's hard when you look at Cunning and you're like, this also exists in the same idea.
You're just like reading the last part, of Command. You're like, return a unit from your discard pile to your hand. You're like,
I will never do that.
I mean, there maybe like 5 sets from now where you have a deck that is quite literally like dependent on a linchpin unit, but otherwise like that just doesn't seem doable.
My issue is the unique, the dealing damage to a non-unique. Like if I could deal it to a non-leader, I think that'd be really good. But like every deck in this format has some unique unit that is really good, and so Command not being able to hit that is sad.
And inevitably, as the game expands, your decks are going to have more unique units because there's going to be more unique units. There's going to be more unique units available too. You're going to get to the point where you're not putting like necessarily, a 3 of every unique unit in your deck. You're just going to be running more separate unique units.
Yeah. All right, Flock, not terrible. I think I bumped Echo Base up to 2.
It's gone.
Oh yeah, your camera went. There you go. I think I go Echo Base up at 2 and then bump Command and Lackeys down, respectively. But, I'll let you keep Force Choke at 1. I'll allow it. Yeah, and again, this is in a vacuum game, right? Some people could argue not every deck wants Force Choke, not every deck wants Echo Base. Yeah, it's for fun before people get mad. But, I mean, you can get mad for Flocky putting it at 4. I will definitely allow that. Now, Brian, are you ready?
Yeah. Mine's probably harder, right?
A little bit. I had to give Flock the cards.
Higher expectations.
Have one word on.
Sentinel. Gave him all the draft cards.
What does this card do?
You're like, wait a minute. Is this the one that gets a shield? Like immediately off the bat, did what the first card is.
That honestly couldn't have been better. For the first card, Flock to immediately be like, is this Sentinel or Shield? 3/4? Nothing you said.
I had to talk it out. I knew it was Sentinel eventually.
Yeah,
I just had to talk it out.
It was. Tyler did tweet the other day. It was a 3/4 in testing Echo Base Defender, but originally it was too good for a color that isn't known for being a Sentinel color, so they changed it to a 4/3. A little interesting tidbit there. All right,
it
Brian.
Makes sense. It trades out a little more expediently at 4/3.
Yes.
Though more lethally.
Yeah.
Hit me.
All right. First one. Imperial Interceptor.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I like that card. I'll put that right smack at 3.
3? Yeah, leaving both sides. I mean, I think that's a safe play. I think it's a safe play.
That's a solid card.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It counters a lot of what you see in space right now with those arcs, with those A-wings, with those red 3s.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think it's really good.
Enough to take out a lot, so
yeah.
Middle road.
Next one. Ezra Bridger. Our friend. Our yellow friend. 3 cost.
Because Ezra's good, but I think he's fallen off since the inception of the game here. So I'm going to put him below the Interceptor at 4.
At 4? Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm also not a hero player, so I'm a little biased.
Well, then this next one is for you. Count Dooku.
I know you're gonna throw me some good stuff at the end, so I'm gonna look like a boob. I want to put him at 2. I'm gonna put him at 2.
2.
I can't wait to see what's better than.
All right, next card.
Yeah.
Cunning.
Ooh. That's 1, and then I'm gonna look like a fool when you throw out like overwhelming barrage at 5.
No. Last one in the 5 slot, Brian. You have Battlefield Marine.
Oh. Man, these are all good. These are all good cards.
I mean, obviously, I'd argue maybe Battlefield Marines, maybe put them above Ezra or put them above the Intercept.
Definitely
maybe
above
Heroes
Ezra.
3. But I mean, I think you played your cards right there.
Yeah, I think if I was actually ranking this list, I think Cunning's still at the top. I'd argue Cunning's still at the top. Cunning's so good and versatile.
Yeah.
Battlefield Marine's really good too. I think Dooku might be.
I think Dooku's actually 4 or 5. I think he's still
Yeah, I
pretty
think
good,
Dooku's
but I've
towards
kind
the
of cooled
bottom.
on him the more I've played with him, especially recently with trying
Since
to push
Vader
Vader.
came out.
Yeah, now you compare him to Luke and Vader.
Yeah.
It's I
He's
know
not
they're
very
both
good,
legendaries and stuff and iconic, but
Yeah, and the more cars we get, the more likely it is that your opponent is not having a unit that has 4 health left. So I mean, it's a little more situational than Luke and Vader at the same. I mean, Vader's you're almost always getting that ability off. He's got ambush. Luke has that built-in removal, big removal too, and the sequencing matters there too. Whereas Dooku's plop him,
and then I'll Dooku your Dooku.
Yeah. So, yeah, not the worst, not the best list, not the worst.
I'll allow it. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm a little higher on Ezra Bridger. I think than you. I like him a lot, and his ability to his low end, he's a 3/3/4, which feels like a little bad, but his high end, where you could hit a surprise strike and then chain in another attack or something like that. He can make for some pretty high variance. And I feel like that's Ezra. Sometimes he just does nothing, and other times he's saving the world.
In those 5 cards, Jack, where are you putting Ezra Bridger?
I think I go Cunning 1. I think I go Battlefield 2. I think I go Ezra 3. I think I go Interceptor 4 and Dooku 5.
Bro's a hero, Andy. A hero only, Andy, bro.
Interceptor's definitely better than Ezra.
I don't. You gave me a tough list because I think those cards are all.
I think they're all pretty good.
Yeah, they're all pretty good.
I got the draft cards.
You did get the draft cards because that's what you can handle.
I mean, I feel like the Interceptor is definitely if you're running a red villain deck, you're definitely running them as a 3 of, and you probably will be for a fair bit of time just because they have that effective on play ability. You can immediately take control of space, immediately get rid of something before it strikes at you, and then you have something in there.
Whereas Dooku isn't always an auto include. It isn't always a 3 of in a blue deck, blue villain deck. I mean, if you're playing a Vigilance Command, I'm slap Vader in there anytime.
Yeah, any 7-drop, it's going to be it's hard to have as necessarily a slot in 3 of because you do have the other 7s and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're comparing it to Luke, Vader, Mace.
He's just really reliant on the shielding to do something because his stats are a little bit lower, and if the shielding doesn't have a good context for it, or if they have an easy answer for the shield, then he's very vulnerable, and then obviously he's vulnerable to himself.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Or effects himself.
I just think though, because Dooku's kind of fallen off. I think you still run him in Krennic Red because there's no other real competition at 7. At that point, I don't think you have the Raider at 6. You could do Dooku at 7. At 8, you could do Palpatine. At 9, you could do Avenger. So he kind of fits the curve nicely in that sense. But yeah, as soon as you go into green, then it's all right. Well, I'd rather Vader be my 7-drop. But Ezra Bridger, to me, like when I play Han, for example, I mean, he's either him or the Falcon are my best turn one plays by like a large mile. Like resourcing a card with Han from hand and then playing Ezra or playing the Falcon is absolutely insane because Ezra can help negate that card disadvantage when you open attack.
I can definitely agree with that in Han just because it does have that specific synergy with the way Han works as far as like getting him out early and then he can start ameliorating that card disadvantage that Han has.
Yeah. Ezra probably just struggles in the sense that right now any form of yellow hero, whether it's the leader or you're bringing it in with a base, is aggro. So, and like he's kind of quirky with Sabine. He's not like super aggro or burned in a sense, but like you could still argue that he could be in that deck because he could have like if you play him and then you hit 4 calls off the top of his thing or hit surprise strike to hit another unit in the base, like he's got some really good variants, but you could argue that I'd rather just play, I don't know, like a Fleet Lieutenant or like some other consistent 3-drop where you're getting like 100% value. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that if I played more hero, my ranking might have been a little different for Ezra. But like I said, I primarily play villain. So
yeah,
Interceptor is so good though. Such a good card.
Yeah. Though if everybody stops running A-wings, you could just not run that though. That's part of it too. Is that it's? I feel like
people
it's
are gonna stop running A-wing. A-wing's so good.
You never know. Yeah. Hey, you know what you could do? You could play a blue deck and watch your opponent play an A-wing, and then you have entrenched, and then you just never play it until I've done like 15 damage with an A-wing.
That's crazy.
Who would do such a thing? That before?
Who would do such a thing?
Yeah, Fox. All right.
I mean, sometimes those plays get away.
Yes. Well, my favorite was that Flock was yelling about not having a turn 1 play, and then everybody in the comments was like, "You had one of the best turn 1 plays for
you had
control
the turn 1 play.
late game deck."
Yeah.
To be fair to Flock,
okay,
that deck was very outdated. It had some stuff like the Battlefield Marine, and I think it even had like the Echo-based Defender, but it was definitely missing some. Like it still had like Command in there or something. So that was a little outdated. All right, so the other exciting part, the main thing that we're going to talk about, is the website. And so I've been really excited for this. Coming from Destiny, we had nothing. Going to Flesh and Blood, we had player IDs where you would sign up and you'd be in the system. And then it wasn't an app, right? It was just a website, and then you refresh it, showed your parents.
Yep, just a website. Yep.
And so that's what this will be too. They also did confirm this won't be an app. But they said that the way it's designed, it's supposed to work really well on your phone as well. So I think there are ways you can even save like web browser pages as an icon on your like iPhone home screen. So if you really wanted to, you could save this to your iPhone home screen, StarWarsUnlimited.com, and then just have Google Chrome open it up every time you hit that button. So you can pretend it's an app, kind of. And then Brian and I, with Bandai, playing One Piece, there is an app. It's super, super clunky. I don't love using it, but the nice part is that there's the player ID barcode, so when you pay to sign up for an event, you pull that up, they scan your barcode, and you're in the system. So those things have been pretty nice. I was really curious to see where they were going to go with this, and it kind of seems like it's more Flesh and Blood between the two. I don't think there's any like barcode type thing for them to scan. It's just you register for the events like Flesh and Blood, essentially.
Yeah, you do have an ID number. I mean, but the way Flesh and Blood handles it is like, say for your weekly event, you go to the store and like the event will generate a 2-word phrase, like a hyphenate. It's usually like some adjective and then some weird exotic animal that's only from New Zealand or something. And then you enter that phrase into like the join event thing, and that's how you join with your player ID. So it takes it out of like the store's hand. They don't need to register you. They just need to be like, here's the code. Let us know when everybody's entered in, and then we'll just hit pair.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I think either that or the barcode's good.
It really makes it so the store does not have to like herd cats.
Yeah, I hope that's the case for this, and that it's super simple for the stores, and I don't have to go up and give my player code, and they have to punch it in, and like, I hope it's something simple like that. I mean, it's
and plus they can just have Star Wars phrases that nobody can spell, like energetic Kishik. Have fun with that one.
Flock will never get into an event.
No, never.
Well, I want to get into event.
Fuck, spell Kashyyyk.
I don't know. Is it a K or a C?
There you go.
Fuck,
I
spelled churret.
Churret? Oh, dude.
So
I thought I wanted to say churro.
Yeah, so right now, the leading rumor so we're recording on the 18th, tomorrow the 19th, the spoiler leader is going to be Churret for Blue Hero. Flock texts me and says, okay, so, all right, so I had to reread this real quick.
You got to quote him correctly.
He said, what are you talking about, Chiripa, however you sell it? Is he getting spoiled? So I was like, wait, what? Chirp? I was like, yes, he's the rumored one to be spoiled. So it's
Chief Chirpa?
Chirpa. Chirpa.
Did he think it was Chief Chirpa? The Ewok?
Yeah.
Yo, I would
that's
love
exactly
that.
who I thought.
At least he thought
That's
it was
exactly
something
what
else.
I was thinking in my head because I was like,
I mean,
Yeah.
That's Cap. That's Cap.
Brian,
You just
Yes.
wanted that for Brian, yeah.
yes.
have you seen the Ewoks in Star
I
Wars
have.
Shatterpoint?
Yeah.
Oh, have you seen what they do?
No, I
They
saw
look-
the.
They look bonkers.
Yeah, they always do.
I love that. All right. So back on to the website. It seems like it's very basic. This does seem, well, basic in the sense of what is there now. I'm sure there's going to be some more opportunities for that. But it's going to be the perfect thing where if you go to these roadshows, if you go to these pre-releases, and people are still trying to figure out more information, you know, maybe even you're at the pre-release and somebody walks up and says, what is this game? It's pretty much the perfect thing to be like, hey, StarWarsUnlimited.com, just go and check it out. There's a lot of things on there. So I pulled it up. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sure you can pull it up or have seen it and stuff, but you see all the stuff at the top, talk about the game, getting started, the rules, how to play, different ways to play, product releases, events. It talks about OP, competitive, casual, event locator, and then there's still the news because, you know, they still want you to see all the articles. It mentions the player portal, events, game rules, like I said, all that. And then even if you go into it, there's not a lot of information right now. Like, for example, if you click on casual play, you're like, hey, the pre-release is coming up. What info is there? Nothing just yet. It still just says coming soon. But they will have information on pre-release, on weekly play, on store showdowns, and then, you know, same thing for competitive. You go there. You can talk about eventually planetary, sector, and regional qualifiers, and then the Galactic Championship will have information there as well. So as that news starts to roll out, this is all going to be a place that you can go and check. And to me, I don't know about you guys if you had the chance to like go through and what all of your first impressions of at least this aspect. We'll talk about the deck builder and the event locator and stuff in a second. But in regards to like finding info for it, like I don't know, did you feel like this website was easy to navigate? Did it look good? Like I don't know, just overall first impressions of the website.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, looks good. It's got all the information, all the cards there in different languages too. Like, I mean, it's got a lot. It's got a lot of stuff. So, even a stream like this wasn't the hypest stream around. You know what I mean? Like, but even streams like this still show like what kind of metamorphosis this company's going through. Because there's nothing remotely anything like this for Destiny. So I mean, this I'll take what I can get. You know, I'm on the hype train. Toot toot.
Yeah, FFG of old was, hey, here's Matt Holland in a back alleyway with a 1990 laptop. He's creating a website for it, or like he's posting the Facebook group chat for us to relay all of our OP information that should be available somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You know, and I know we make the comparison a lot between Destiny and Flesh and Blood because, you know, once Destiny died, Flesh and Blood was like the next card game that most of us played, and I still do play. And like having the ability to be like, oh, there's, you know, a skirmish season's coming up. Where locally are there skirmish events, and being able to look that up and not having to go through like a Facebook group or go search back in like a Discord history or have to like play, you know, some contorted game of telephone to try and figure out when events were is so much better. So the fact that like I go on this website and the first thing I see is how to play and the next thing is find a store, that seems like, you know, perfect. Then as you scroll down, it's like, oh, here are all the cards. You scroll further down and it's like, here's the news. And I think that's like a really good layout for the website because you have your like very much new player information right up front, right in front of your face, and then it's like if you want more information, you scroll down and you start getting into the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Also, really enjoyed the availability of the hyperspace variants and such on certain cards, and they're going to update that as they go too. But I mean, it's. Whew.
I saw some people asking about that, but yeah, they'll have all the alt arts and variants. Like there's even the OP one. So if you go to Sabine right now, you can swap to the OP variant and add that into your deck, which I think is really, really cool. I like that. It'll have both, but it'll also make me probably more degenerate, and that's a little scary, you know?
Well, I like that you can track your collection there too. I mean, there's a whole bunch. I mean, it seems simple on the surface, but there is like a lot of love that's put into this website from what it seems. So,
yeah,
you know,
and I was gonna say one of my biggest frustrations of One Piece right now, Brian, and I don't know if you echo this, is that I was really interested. I was like, I want to do whatever their store championship is. I want to do whatever their regional is. And trying to find any information on that. Like I found a roadmap and it was like, this is this, this is this. And I was
still
like,
a mess,
I still don't know what any of these events actually are. Like what one is my local store? And it was a little bit of more of a mess and I tuned out. And now at this point where Flock, you sent the countdown. How many days away? Or is it 40 something or 50 something?
I think it's still 50. I have it on my home screen.
It's like 52 or something?
It's right now. Oh, pre-release is 43. It's 50 for the actual game.
Oh my gosh, 40.
43 days for pre-release, March 1st, and then March 8th is 50 days away from the 18th currently.
Why is it a leap year this year?
It should be 42 and 49.
One extra day.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Garbage.
Yeah.
Savage. Massage.
I'm not worried about any of that anymore. But I do like this. Like this is what I mean. Like I pull up this website, events. Oh, I'm curious. What's this? Oh, there's casual and competitive play. I want to learn about both, and I click on that. And then also, you know, eventually, like I said, there's still the coming soon stuff. But literally, I can just scroll down and be like, oh, this is this. This is what a store showdown is. And then, like Scott said, there's probably going to be an event finder right within there, right? It's on the main page, find a store. So I'm going to click into that and mention that as well.
If you click on to find a store, it's like byproduct / find an event.
Yeah.
I'm
actually not going to zoom out on this so people don't dox where I live potentially. Right now it's just a blank. It's a square. But I won't zoom out. But there's no stores on there right now.
The one thing that Josh was like,
I was looking at.
Say I'm going to visit a friend and I'm going to do this and I want to see what's happening around me and I'm like, yeah, I would definitely do that. I would definitely check out the events. I would definitely check out where I could buy product because I have a problem. So, you know, like it's cool.
Eldest won, so he not lucked out in
out
the fact
in Seattle or something, right?
Eldest won a store championship out in Seattle, but the reason that happened was because it was at, I think Bandai was the name of it, and that was Dice Commando, who like made a lot of content for Destiny as well. So like the store was known because there was a content creator attached to it, and that's the only. He even said he's like the only reason I knew this place existed was because of them. Whereas now, like any city you go to, you can plug this in, like Brian said, and Josh mentioned on stream, you know, oh, I'm going to Philadelphia. I know the Golden Dice guys play at Red Caps. I'd love to go there and like see them. I don't know why you would ever say that, but if you did want to do that, you could literally just click on Red Caps and it would show not only every weekly, but it would show the pre-releases and the store showdowns and all that stuff that is coming up and what days and times and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's super great. I don't know if like the case, you know, will be you know, the way that they do it for Flesh and Blood, like, you know, we do weeklies at Red Caps and like the format changes every week. And sometimes the format's like, you know, they change the calendar and things like that. I never remember what it is until like the day of, but I can go check it on the website. I can be like, what's the event? I don't have to like, you know, try and message people around Discord. I can just like look it up real quick, get the correct information. Like, oh, it's Blitz or, you know, whatnot.
Yeah. Red Caps, I believe. Oh, we got the name for Standard, which is Premier. In this game, by the way, which we didn't know before this stream and the website. But yeah, Red Caps, everybody voted for Mondays, 6:30.
Except for Flock. Flock didn't vote for Mondays.
Frisbee, my Monday Night Frisbees might not be a thing.
Flock voted for the day that Jack absolutely couldn't go.
I was like, I work Wednesdays, literally no way I can.
I want a chance to win.
Like,
I want a chance to win. Okay. And if Jack's not there, I have a chance to win.
No, I think Mondays are great. You start your week off on a good note or a bad note if you're flocked in.
start my week off
Always
with an
having a
OP
good
pack.
time.
All right, that's what I want to do. I want a chance at that rare Sabine All Art. That's what I want. But we are draft on the first
Monday. Get out
Monday.
of house moving forward there, Jack?
What's that?
Sure you're going to be able to get out of the house to attend anything moving forward there, Jack?
Yes, until May, and then we will see what set number 2 looks like. we'll reevaluate what set number 2 and how much time I have for that. And that's why we're going so deep and why we're doing 3 pre-release events. And that first week, I would even love to do 2 or 3 like weekly events for packs, and then go to the typical once a month or once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the issue is the time management that I will need to figure out is come May, because that's when store showdowns are, and that's when my second is due, May 21st. So hopefully I can front load that.
You just described your second child as an issue. Let's hope that Carrie is not listening upstairs.
There's absolutely zero shot she's listening. Or it will listen in the future. But they also haven't laid out the format of store showdown. So I hope, because the way they said it almost like originally was like it was a weekend, and that would shock me. It's got to be all month, which shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure stores will spread out and we can make a few and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that's the hope, that they don't have it in a situation where it's like all this, like, oh, just this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then it's like you end up with this situation where it's like some events get like 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Not because there's not players.
The Alaskan top 4.
Yeah, well, I mean that's one thing. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But just because it's like, well, everybody else went to this other one, or everybody went to like 2 others, and then Sunday lost steam.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's over the course of like at least 2 to more weeks.
Yeah. But so I imagine we'll find out about that. But yeah, the last bit on this just page that we're on right now is just it's not only awesome that you can find an event, but like Brian mentioned, you can find product as well. So the default, I think Josh said, will be to purchase a product, but the other will be find an event. So if you're in town and you just want to grab a few packs, boom, you're looking to get in the game for the first time, and you'll be able to find a local store that's selling that, and then also what their weeklies and stuff look like.
Brian's on vacation. He's like, I just need a little fix, just a little something to keep me going.
Gotta get a hit.
I wouldn't put it past me. I swear, he said that on the stream, and I was like, I can see myself doing that. Honestly, I have a problem. You know what I mean?
I go into when I'm in other cities, I like go into like game shops and stuff like that, and I'm like, somehow I'm more likely to buy something that I see every week at my local than there. It's like oh, it's novel. I got it in an exotic
souvenir for you,
like Boston.
I got my showcase in Boston.
And then if you like pull something you don't want, you could be like, I hate Boston, dude. Boston is the absolute worst city in the world, dude.
Stop talking trash about Boston, okay?
Oh yeah.
I was just in Boston, Flockton.
Yeah,
I stayed next to Fenway.
Nice.
Yeah, I could see it from my my hotel window.
Ooh, Flock's setting up, dude.
Yeah.
Flock's back engaged in the cast right now.
Yeah.
He's
What
back,
I do is be in that area during a baseball game, and if you get a ticket for Fenway, they shut down one of the streets, and then the restaurants open up, and if you have a ticket to get in, that's really fun.
I walked I was, that's what I did in like my early morning, was just like go take a walk around, because it was like right around.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the store and event, and then the other part of this is the card database. So this looks pretty clean. Did you guys get a chance to play? Like, did any of you build a deck? How did that feel? What did it look like? All that stuff. Let me see if I can pull up one of the who's Kanan.
I haven't had a chance to build anything on it yet, but I did watch them build it.
There is some, and I don't know if it's like the issue with maybe it's just my web browser or whatnot, but like there is a little bit of an issue where it's like I go to click on, say, like the Leia leader to add to my deck, and it actually is like bringing up the IG leader for some odd reason. So there's a little bit of like
couldn't have a worse glitch.
It was
validation problem. I know. But yeah, there's a little bit of like a validation problem on there that that's just a UI thing. So
I have the same thing. I have validation issues too.
Oh,
in my life. I'm not talking about the website.
That's fair.
I think my biggest complaint is that I can't see my full deck list. Right, so you have to like scroll within the deck list, and then also like for example, right now I pulled up Hera, green deck, Hera with Conversion Lab, pulled up, and it brings up every single card, which like it's not terrible right now. Just quickly scroll through. I mean, this is only 200 cards, 210 cards or whatever it is, but like I'm thinking 3 sets from now, if I can't click on up at the top filters of like 2 to 3 different aspects, like that's kind of.
But they said it's coming.
Yeah, they said it's it just makes it very annoying to try and do stuff right now.
Yeah,
I'm still using the dark web, SWU.
I think Josh even got lost a little bit when he was making his deck because like wasn't the whole thing he was like making Hera and he was like I need to put all my specters in and then he had Chopper and then took Chopper out and then did something else, got distracted and then didn't even end up putting like Chopper in. I mean I just prefer SWU right now, but I think that's because it's a comfort thing. Like it's a familiarity thing. I'm sure this will grow. I mean, I'm sure that as they release sets, it'll be better. Not that it's bad. It's just simple.
Well, the plus side that you might expect from it is that things might be on there quicker. That's like the main advantage of if it's the company making it, like there's no delay necessarily. But it is entirely possible that like they don't populate it with like unreleased cards and things like that, for future sets as spoilers come. It looks like they have so far, but that might not be the case where it's like maybe those secondhand or third-party websites, they actually could populate with spoilers, which is a big deal for the community. People tend to want to like build with the latest and greatest if they're tinkering.
I don't know who was first this morning for the dispatcher and whatever the other that heroism card was. If it was SWU or the website, I know.
I wasn't timing them.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not paying attention because I can't imagine there's that big of a difference, anyways.
Yep. And the plus side, you got all the card images here, so I'm sure that matters for like people that are like exporting details and things like that. I don't know how to program a website, but I'm sure that helps.
Yeah. And one thing I actually have really missed is the exporting of like the deck images that SWU does. How you can just export the image and like I can send you guys rather you have an open a link. It's just a PNG that I shared with you, and there's all the cards and the sideboard on it as well. I really did like that, and so I'm curious if they'll ever do something like that for this.
Yeah, I hope they add something like that because that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering how they go about like, can you? I haven't even looked at it that far. Can you export it to like things like TTS and stuff, or can you not?
There's no way. I don't think they would ever do
I would think they wouldn't let that happen.
Yeah. Unless like TTS, like the mods on their end can somehow like, if you import the deck code, it could work. But I don't think like FFG will never be like, here's easy import. It would definitely be something like the community would figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
Smarter people than you and I.
Yeah. I know we get force table imports too with SWU, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
SWU he's doing a great job with that. I really do love that website.
Yeah.
And like some of the roadmap stuff he has mentioned too is some of the stuff that I'm happy with in here. Like having one of my favorite features of the fan-made Destiny one was you could have a collection, and then when you would make a deck, it would tell you if you're missing something. And I know that's like a simple feature, but I feel like some other deck, like One Piece doesn't, like the fan-made ones, the big one for that doesn't really do that. I think Flesh and Blood did it. I know there's one for Lorcana that does it as well. And I just love that feature because it makes it so much easier to like map out what I'm actually building and what I have and stuff like that. Because like Lorcana, for example, I'm a box is set and the starters, and I play kitchen table with my wife. So it's like, I want to see like I'm not ripping these lists and putting Elsa in there because I don't own Elsa's.
You do actually. She's behind you somewhere.
No, she's sold. She's with someone.
Mine is.
Very happy. Oh,
Mine's
yours.
back there.
Yeah.
I ain't using it again.
Behind what's the worst
three
card?
all lightsabers probably.
yeah.
I'll stack them on top of each other.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I was happy. I think this bodes really well for the game. Like I said, like think about how awesome it is to just be like, oh yeah, this is Star Wars Unlimited. Here's my quick rundown of it, but when you go home tonight, go to StarWarsUnlimited.com and check out the website. Like all the information's there. Like this stuff is like super clear too. Like the how to play,
Yeah,
like the setup and the bases, leaders, resources, what playing a card is, attacking with a unit is. Like
It's so easy. Flock can understand it.
Maybe.
well, even if he can't, that's not on them. I would never blame that on,
Fair.
on someone else. Some of the other notes that to have, they said rules reference is coming. That's not up there yet. The judge program is coming, but not up there yet as well. Information on that. So we're still waiting to hear on some of those things. But yeah, I mean, they got the basic stuff. They have a card catalog, a deck builder, event finder, a store finder. I'm not really sure that they're missing anything. It feels like they have everything covered. Some things need improving, but
yeah, I mean, there's more. I would have not faulted them or even expected them to have like the card, the deck builder. Like that was kind of surprising.
yeah.
The drop down menu gives you like game, you got getting started, how to play, rules, different ways to play, product releases, events, you got the what is, you got the store event and locator, like, it all seems pretty easy to navigate.
And the
I'm
player
registered.
connect.
I'm in the system. I am
And the player connect too is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm in. I got an ID and everything.
I had to update my ID. My original Asmodee ID was Bob Loblaw from Arrested Development.
Bob Law.
Yeah. So I updated it to just Jack GDP.
You didn't want to be Bob Loblaw.
I was actually kind of tempted to keep it, but I figured I'd update it. I'd update it every
across the platforms.
Yeah,
I updated mine as well.
That's why I'm just my name everywhere, man. Like, it's just my name.
Yep.
My name is my name.
Mine's my last name.
I mean, that's mine now. I'm just
Love
Jack.
it.
Yeah.
I'm
That's not your name.
I'm living in fantasy.
True,
land.
it's not your name.
It's not your name.
True. True.
I still have you on my phone as John Jack.
Good.
You
Tyler's
sound
been
like
trying
a-
to call me John because I keep calling him Tyler.
Yeah, I've been calling him John.
Well, that is.
It
your
just
name.
doesn't sound right.
It's-
I don't know.
But like we call him Tyler because he's acting up and he needs to calm down.
It's how it started with Brian. Whenever I was getting a little too, he was just like
Tyler.
because I was like a dog when he called me Tyler. I'm like, don't ever do that again.
It's like if your mom uses your full name with your middle name in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was one of those things where Flock was like laughing and giggling, and I was like, Tyler, and he's like,
Yeah, it's just old Tyler Flockington over there.
Him and Harold. I love that Chip guessed Harold. I'll never
Dude,
forget that moment.
That was it Harold or was it my mom?
No, it was Harold.
It was one of them. He got the one right.
I miss Chip.
One day. All right. I mean,
Golden
any other thoughts, comments, questions, concerns of the game as a whole?
I think the website just needs like a little animation on the bottom with like a boat going across. Remember, like Destiny, the joke was like it's on the boat. So like they need like a little boat on the bottom.
we no longer have to suffer through the people asking about the upcoming page on FFG's website. Hopefully,
Yeah.
like it hasn't been updated. It's been updated in years.
Yeah.
It got
Sometimes
updated
the articles
like
got left behind.
the 2 days before it
Yeah.
released.
Yeah.
No, I'm again being we'll call it the pragmatic voice amongst the four of us. I am like very pleasant, like not pleasantly surprised just because they have been doing all of the things that they previously haven't been doing. And having a website out prior to the launch of the game with all of like your launcher, that's another thing that they never did before for any of their products. So it just seems like there's a lot of like first for a company that is not a new company. Like that's kind of the crazy thing. It's not like this is, like, oh, they're a new company, so everything that they do is new. Like FFG's been making games that I've been playing for like a while. And for this to be like the first case, where they're coming out with a website, like a usable, purposeful, independent website that's like, has all of the features you'd expect, plus some additional ones like, featured decks, the card build, the deck builder, all of the alternative arts and things like that. Definitely is another notch on the like cautiously optimistic scale. We've like passed that precipice of like, I'll order a box. Now it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, how many boxes? How many boxes do I have?
Easier.
I'll only draft and I'll steal all the extra commons from Jack,
Yep,
Flock, and Brian to now.
that's where I was like a month ago, right? And then I
Yeah.
switched over. I switched my pre-order. I switched over from a Fab box to a SWU box from Red Caps just to support the local store. And now I'm like, well, how many drafts can I really do? Maybe I'll need to buy some more stuff.
Mm-hmm. I know. I'm pushing Red Caps to even try to like do a draft that Monday after release on the 11th.
Yeah.
But they're like, that might be a little confusing. Where I'm like, I don't know. I feel like drafting right after release is like when I want to draft as compared to April 1st.
Yeah, I mean, it does get a little tough towards like the end of a set life cycle. Speaking from like a Fab standpoint, like I don't really even want to draft this month because there's a new set coming out at the end of the month. I'm like, I've done enough of the other one. But like we've been doing like 2 drafts a month. And we've actually been like sustaining that. So I think like it's feasible to sustain, especially like a singular draft. Out of the 4 weeks in a given month, like throughout the entire life cycle of the set.
Yeah. And we'll be
I'm
doing
totally cool.
ones.
I'm totally cool doing more just because of the alt arts now. Like in Destiny, it wasn't really big. It's just like I got all the legendaries. I don't need to do this. And then now it's like, okay, well, I'll suck it up, but like I'm more willing to do it towards the end for like the rarer cards.
Destiny's draft was just hot garbage.
Oh yeah, that was bad too.
Yeah. Just didn't. It just wasn't like because you started with stuff. It didn't feel like what you drafted, especially like from a like dice card standpoint, was necessarily like the biggest of deals because like you knew you had like a safe space to go back to.
Yep.
You knew you had low bot.
Yep. I'm excited to. The pre-release will be fun, but I am really excited to draft. Like the pre-release is sealed, so you're gonna play with what you get. But I'm very excited to draft this game.
It will be interesting to see like how distribution comes into play. Like if there is some degree of like collation between like, oh, there's X amount of like this color, like each color in a thing, or like maybe there's at least one of each color in a pack and stuff like that. So that's going to be something that's like interesting to kind of like follow as we go along.
I think there is. I think somebody had mentioned that, whether it was on a stream or FFG said it in the Discord. But I think at least what I mostly remember is them saying there'll be one common of a single aspect in each pack. So like there'll be one green, one red, one yellow, one blue. At least in every pack.
That's a big deal for obviously like sealed, but it's also like a bigger deal for draft because that's how you need to know what's the the possible distribution of the pack to read or send any possible signals to people drafting to your left or right.
I feel like I haven't even put that much thought into this yet, but I feel like I've already put more thought than I have into any other draft I've ever done. Like Flesh and Blood, I just showed up. I was like, "There's cards in this pack. What do I want to play? This seems cool." Destiny, like you said, I was like, I don't really care because I'll fall back on Anakin and Fenral anyway. So I'll just, I'll grab the good cards and not worry about what I really need to pick. But this, I'm already thinking about some of those things.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on with this, and it's a much more like, it's definitely going to be a much more draftable experience. I mean, like. Fab is a very draftable game, but I remember back the sets that you were drafting were probably less of the draftable sets. Like you came in and we were drafting like Tales of Aria, which wasn't necessarily like the best one to draft.
I think that was the only one that I did.
Yeah,
I think Tales.
Some of the earlier, like the first set, Welcome to Wraith was really good to draft. Some of the sets like through there, not so much, but like the current set also really good to draft. So like it does like each set has its own identity. Some sets are better in sealed, some sets are better in draft, some sets are just not good for either.
I drafted Arcane Rising, I think, in Orlando.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I heard like the newest or one of the most recent Flesh and Blood ones was like the best. Wasn't there like 6 weapons or like 6 leaders or something? Like there was a higher amount than their normal is that like opened up options.
That was one of the recent sets, and I did enjoy that. the current set, it's all one class, so it becomes very interesting because every card you draft is playable.
Cool.
So it's like very interesting to see like how decks progress with that, and we'll see how SWU handles that in future sets, because if they've got this purposefully built draft like format, so they're going to be designing to it as opposed to Destiny where it was like just grafted on top.
Yeah. And in an interview that Unplayable did, D-House and Mike did an excellent job with Josh, and they were talking about they had asked a question of, all right, so you guys are really hyping up draft. I know all of you are really excited, and you're the OP guy. Should we expect OP and draft to cross over at some point? Will there be events with that? And he's basically said, like, not within the first year, and we'll listen to feedback kind of moving on from there. So I wouldn't be surprised if
there are like, I hope there are higher level events that have like draft elements, because that's been one of like the funner things to do with Flesh and Blood, whether it's like Road to Nationals or like ProQuest invites and things like that. So we're talking like store level higher events. Having draft as a format is super interesting and super fun.
Are you ready for it, Flock? You ready to draft? You have to know the cards.
Oh, for draft? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just gonna pick the most.
What were you saying, no?
Well, I didn't know what you said. Are you ready? Like in a very like.
He's ready for the second round of the game.
I was saying, you ready for round 2 for five new
That's
cards?
what I was. I was like, oh, what's going on?
All right. Well, I mean, we're at an hour. I don't really have anything else I wanted to necessarily cover. We've got the next stream coming up in a week and a half, or well, really 2 weeks, I guess. Week and a half will put us at the weekend before, but on the 31st, they'll be talking about the pre-release and store showdown kits.
Nice.
So that'll be. It doesn't fully include who's going to be on there, but join us for an in-depth look at what pre-release and store showdowns will entail, including pricing and event structure. Watch for a solid preview of 2 of the 3 types of casual tier events. So you'll get a good look into what you're going to be doing in a month, pretty much from the 31st. So
exciting.
Yeah.
These are exciting times you live in. It's getting
real.
Cool. So yeah, this is the time we would normally answer spoilers, but we are going to break it up. So, if you're still listening, would appreciate the feedback of like 2 shorter episodes as compared to 1 longer one type thing. But yeah, we're excited. We got a lot of good content coming up in the next 2 months, and what we're also going to do for pre-release weekend and stuff like that, and release weekend. So be sure to follow us, subscribe, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, join our Discord. I always want to say Twitch, but I was like, we never do Twitch.
Apparently you want to have like a TikTok? I don't know.
I don't know if I ever care. Like, I thought about it, but then I was like, I just don't know if I care. Like, who wants to watch like 10 seconds of Flock trying to draft a card? Like, does anybody?
I do.
That's the only thing that people want to watch.
True. Flock, you've got people have been requesting to sit next to you and draft, so you're a popular guy.
I know. I know.
They just want to be to his left and get past like abject bombs that he's just over.
No, I know the bombs. That's not happening.
Do you?
Okay.
See,
all right.
I hope is that they
Who
truly...
are the ones that passed OB?
You were sober. That's not fair.
Raise your hand if no, I was drinking. But raise your hand if you passed over OB. Raise your hand. Yeah, okay.
Dude, my pack one pick one was Obi-Wan, and then I didn't even select another blue card.
Technically, before the draft rules were released, we did that, so I didn't know how leaders worked, so I just picked Boba. Round 1. I didn't pick correctly, but I was low.
I do love the fact that we don't have to pick leaders anymore. I thought that was a pretty feel-bad for the draft.
I mean, you do have to pick leaders just separately.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
you're not picking them within
much
the pack.
easier.
Yeah. The way that you're picking them is a lot better.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think I just pick the pretty ones.
Well, I mean, context matters, right?
Value drafting over there.
If I'm at 2 Falcons in my collection, and in my first pack I see a Falcon, yeah, I'll just take the Falcon. It's a really good card, but it's also
oh my god,
something.
I'm going to take the Falcon in draft. That's the worst possible pick possible.
All right, you know what? It's pack 3. I'm already cemented into blue-green villain, and now I pull the Falcon. Yeah, I'm gonna take.
Oh,
The
you're
Falcon.
you're one of those guys. You're not playing. You're not. You don't have the competitive integrity to you to draft a real deck. You just
No,
draft them
I
for
don't.
value.
Absolutely not.
I mean, several picks, yes. I mean, I'm not gonna go like 1, 2, 3. Let me go value. I'll definitely like.
I'm waiting to pull the God pack when I draft, where I've got to make the horrible decision between 2 L's and a hyperspace foil and all kinds of nice goodies. And I'm sure I'll pick poorly and I'll lose the draft, and then it'll all fall apart, and I'll just buy more stuff because
I mean, you'll lose.
That's how I go. I'm definitely gonna lose anyway. I'm terrible at draft. I'm terrible at SWU.
That's true.
Can confirm.
Okay, bud.
Let's
I
go.
don't want to hear nothing out of you.
Let's go.
He beat you in that game today.
Yeah. No, yeah,
No, I won.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brian won.
No, I was saying.
Yeah, I won.
2 Flockton.
Well, one of us is gonna have to win.
Yeah.
All right, time in the round. It's a draw. We don't
With Flock, it might be. Flock's best of 3 is
True.
Garbage Roller's best of 1.
True.
Wait,
No, his best one is Garbage
Yes.
Roller's best of 3.
reverse that. Flip that.
Yeah.
You meant what I know.
Yes.
All right, guys. Anything else?
Nah, not a thing.
Cool. All right. Appreciate everybody tuning in, watching, listening to us. Always appreciate your feedback, and we will catch y'all next time.